Welcome to my live streaming, and today we are going to do the VFX. So basically we are going to do VFX or making VFX. Even I don't know much about it, so I'm gonna learn that. Okay. And you also see how the beginner learn VFX. That's all I have to say. And that's all done. Plus turn on return here. Let's make the VFX and see what we can do. So we are going to make a VFX, and before we started, this is our entire setup. What we have to like edit or do something, whatever we're gonna do. This is the 3D viewport, and now we are going to create a VFX. Let's go VFX and motion capture. I already make it a video, so I'm gonna open this video from my computer, and this is the moment you need it. Screen capture. This is the moment you need everything. And so I'm gonna open this. And search the video where I just put it. There you go. This is the video we are going to edit. So this video is in 30 fps, so I'm gonna get the 30 fps here. There you go. Now we are going to set up we're going to load this video over here, and it is like a perfectly moving. Now we need to create some object over here. Okay, everything is fine, and now I'm gonna set the prefetch and set the frame rate. Enter frame, and all done. There is a 483 frame, and it's all running in 30 fps. And look at that. So this is the key we are just creating, and now we are just going to create another program. Let's see what we can do. So everything is done. Now we are going to detect features. So this features is detecting. Now I'm gonna make this tracking. Everything tracked and track back. Let's see. Nice. All lost, and there you go. So basically I think we should create manually. Okay, now there is some option. You can see that picture is not look like a original or something. Let's create one of this here. Scale a little up, drag a little, Alt S, search option, and let's predict. We need to create a 8 mode. Now he's lost his way. Let's get F1, and you can see it's still in the same place as it needs to be. Okay, there you go. So it is end in here, and you cannot find. There you go. So if you need to find this, select this one. And this one. Can I move this one? Yes, I can. Move this one, mark this one again. Let's see. Okay. Oh, zoom out. Sorry. Now I'm gonna play this one and see how it is looking. This is the first step we are doing. Okay, everything is done, but we done some mistake and we have to do manually in here because we does not have any frame. Let's create another keyset on here. And there you go. See, this is the main object. We are creating another frame. And we lost the object. Back one frame. Alt S, search option, and it's active. I'm gonna do one more step. Okay, I'm getting back one more. Let's see, can we find it? Yes, we can. Now go here. Yep, this is the step we need to fix. We need to set up this one. Oksbi to here. Let's see. T here. Those position is not the tracking, so that's mean you have to track manually, and this is the moment for me and anybody who do it. This is the search, and you can use that as a Alt S, scale a little bit. Now this one is look good, I think. Okay, and it's miss again. Here and down. Okay, it's done. So second point is done. We just create the third part, second part. And now need another one, and we are going to create this one. How is that? How about this one? It is a little bit contrast. Now I'm gonna drag this one. There we go. I'm gonna drag it anymore. Further. There it is. Now go L or L. I don't know what touch do. I'm using G. Drag G, drag, and that's all done. Let's see the third part. Now all done. Now I'm gonna create one other one, and it will be in here. Let's do it. This one is very hard when you do such thing like that. Now it is the boring part, but also the interesting part if you know how it is work. Now you can also do other thing like detect and go. come here. I'm gonna detect again. So, come here. Detect again. Go. Come here. Detect. Detect. Back. So did you see that the yellow line? So it need to be constant. So basically what I'm gonna do, I'm gonna reduce the frame set, will be like here. Let me see. So this is all done. I'm gonna create another video. And I'm gonna do the keyframe setting and features tracking extra, track, joint, and that's all track. Layer, refine, over track. Yeah. I'm gonna watch the video. No, I'm not going to watch video. I'm gonna mark the layer 1, 3. Sorry. 2, 3. This is what I just marked. It metadata, this extra, use mask, copy active track, location, direction, scale. Oh, okay. I think we are going to clear all the keyframe. I think I'm gonna create one more video, or otherwise I can eventually upload this one. And yes, extra. This one. That's one. Detect, track, fetch, detect, track, detect, track. How to do track is Control T. Forward and backward is Shift Control T. How to do detect? Shift Control T. Shift Control T. Now I'm gonna solve plane, create a plane track, compensate, let's solve tripod, balance, radius, solve the camera motion, C. Oh, solve camera 95. We set the camera motion, but it's not tracking. Doing anything? Nope. Create a plane. Not track the part. we are just creating the camera motion. Okay, so basically they said that we have to select 4 to create the camera motion. Now select this one, this one, this one, and this one. See what does happen. %. Some data color reconnaissance details. So the camera motion is stopped because of some data missing, like here. You can see now I'm gonna select this one, this one, this one. Further investigation, this one, and this one, and this one. So camera motion, let's see. We selected more than 4 because our camera is like moving like a anytime. This is the track reason why it's like not working. Finally, let's see. And it's working. Alright. Let's clean up. Geometry. Mesh link to the geometry flow. Set origin. Okay, I think I need to create one more video. Just give me a moment. minutes and I will be back with my new video. Okay? This video is not gonna work. I'm back with new video. I'm so sorry because I'm a learner, so I had to learn quickly, and I'm not gonna save this one, and we are going to download the video which is have been uploaded in here. The video. It doesn't have a close option. Now get back and close this one either. This one. Paste here. Let's see what we can do. Let's turn on the Blender again, and we are going to do VFX. So basically we need to add, or we can do directly go there, but I'm gonna use this one for my safety benefit, and otherwise not safety benefit, it's like I don't have any particular reason why I'm using this one, but yeah, that's all I have to say. And I'm gonna create for texture, select the image, and there you go. The image, the new image. Now I'm gonna do prefetch. So basically it is a 30 fps picture, so I'm gonna do complete 30 fps region option, something, whatever it is. Just load, set the frame rate, and 617 prefetch load, and the prefetch loading this one. Yeah. And more than that, you have to go hardware part, and it's loading, and it's deleting, because it doesn't have that much RAM. That's why it's like next time I will create in 100 fps, 1018 fps. That's all I can make it. Now I'm gonna prefetch, and it's all detected. I'm gonna mark this one by using my shift selected, shift selected, and there is any other option. Yes, selected. Radiation, this is the loss of contrast, and this one has a loss of contrast. Let's mark. Okay, select this one, mark. Back mark. It's marking. So it will take a little bit time because I just downloaded I just made it the 4K video, and I doesn't know that I doesn't have that much RAM to make it complete way to this thing. Let's track this one and do what you are going to do. You can basically say me, not. It's a beginning video. Making beginner video, it is like a hard for me. Some people doesn't understand that. So what we did, marking system. There you go. Okay, it's perfectly working fine, and that's all we need. Now I'm gonna create another one. Go here. Yeah. Let's drag this one. Select this one. Alt scale. Now I think it will work perfectly fine. It's working perfectly fine. It doesn't need to go around the world and search for anything. It is this one. Nice. Now bottom part. And now go to the trackpad. It's done. Select this one. All done. I'm gonna select one more. So I'm gonna select this one. Yes. This is working perfectly fine for me. My computer is like working hard and is requiring lots of power. I think it's perfectly working fine. Look at that. The wall is working fine. Smooth. Let's select this one. You can see the another one is here. You can track this one either. Control select and track backward. And it's working fine, perfectly fine. Look at that. What did I just create? Just creating a new motion tracker, and really awesome. I need only 8, so there is already I created a ground stop, top floor, back floor. I created more than I thought. That's good. I'm gonna create one more. Let's create this one. It is a 4K video, so wait, what? It doesn't take time. That's nice. So if you make this in a 4K video, that will give you the good result. Yes, you can see that how fast it's working. So you have to basically download the 4K video, make that easy work. But you also remember that when you don't have that graphics card or something like that, it will make another 4 video here. Let's try. I don't know what it is. Grab this one. Grab this one. And grab this one. Nice. It's much like scary. And one more to go. Maybe we did not do anything like here. Let's start with this one. Let's attack. Okay, so all thing is done. All track must be followed by me or my cousin or me. That's all done. Now set the frame. We did, yes we did. Now we are going to marker, we track the location. We did track that location, and this location is like locate this one, track again. Control all, track again, track backward. And keyframe will be keyframe and click. Just hold on and the result. There you go. Let's see. Now I'm gonna turn off this one because we doesn't need it. I don't know how to work with it. Go to the solve and panel will create a panel. Create panel will track out the selected. Create panel. Go to the solve. Solve camera motion. What to do? Clean up. No. Geometry. No. Like track is needed to orientate the flow. The tracks need to be oriented first, second, set origin this one, set origin will be this one, and set background, set up tractions will be set up here. You can see all is like working perfectly fine, and this is the origin we just created. I think I did this. Yeah, I'm born for no reason, and I did mistake every time, so you don't have to insult me. I know that yeah, consulting person. And that's all we do. Now we just created background ground setup. Now on this one is like float down, setup down, deep under for moving camera or it's 1 3 what does do? Let's open it. Oh, I don't have to do. Let's get inside the 3D viewport and see the 3D viewport has something, I don't know. I'm gonna learn this part now.
Let's get started. So we not only got lost, but it also went in the wrong direction. So just go back to the last frame where it worked correctly and use this to delete all the frames before it so that it will remove the wrong point. Then rescale the search area, Control Shift T. If you know it, usually I'm happy with everything. The camera has to move a lot between those two frames. Scale it up so that it covers the whole thing. Don't move it, bring it back. Scale up the search area and just drag backwards. And this didn't get lost at all. Okay, so now we have 8 trackers and we are ready to create a motion. We need to give Blender a bit more information with value. So in this case, I recorded it with an iPhone 8, which has a sensor width of 4.6. And here we have a bit more. So in order to create the camera solve, just switch to the solve panel over here. And before we can click on solve camera motion, we need to give Blender a bit more information about our camera. So to do so, press N to open up the side panel. And on the track, go to camera. And here we have the sensor width value. So in this case, I recorded it with an iPhone 8, which has a sensor width of 4.6 millimeters.
So let's see what my camera sensor is. What he said.
And here we have the sensor width value. So in this case, I recorded it with an iPhone 8, which has a sensor width of 4.6 millimeters.
4.6 width. That's what I need. Be another, not he another. What he said.
And this didn't get lost at all. Okay, over here. And before we can click on solve camera motion, we need to give Blender a bit more information about our camera. So to do so, press N to open up the side panel. And on the track, go to camera. And here we have the sensor width value. So in this case, I recorded it with an iPhone 8, which has a sensor width of 4.6 millimeters. If you don't know this value for your camera, usually a quick Google search will give you the right information. Then on the lens, you can also enter the focal length of your camera. If you know it, in this case, I don't know it, so in the solve panel,
I got it. Let's go Blender and track panel, the camera. Yes, camera lens. The focal length is 3.5 mm, and the center's width is sensor width is horizontal present. Sensor width. What is sensor width? Sensor width is 0.6. 35 mm. Right? Pixel ratio. Inch sensor, 6 mm, 1.7 pixel width, 1.7 1 by 1.7. This one, environment, 1.9 aperture lens. Not this one. Make this up there. Sensor width. What is sensor width? It's not a sensor. Let's see. This is 2.6 mm and so yeah, 2.6. The Redmi Note 5 camera sensor width, each sensor area, focus, automatic, yes, and shift. I'm gonna use focal length. Sensor width is 5. Focal length 5 just stabilize horizontal view, vertical field view. Let's make it default. White is like 4. White is 2.4. Ultra. field view, and this is all done. Let's get back to the setup camera tracking. Camera sensor will be on the 9. Oh, 1.43 हो गया. Okay. Now what he gonna teach us?
I'm just gonna check refine focal length, and Blender will try to estimate this
Refine focal.
value, which usually works pretty well. So that's it for the camera settings. Next, we also need to set the keyframe A and B. And for this, we basically have to select two keyframes between which there is a lot of parallax. And this means that the camera has to move a lot between those two frames. And usually I like to use the first and the last frame of my sequence for this, which in this case is 1 and 327.
Oh, okay. Let's start with
And for this, we basically have to select two. So that's it for the camera settings. Next, we also need to set the keyframe A and B. And for this, we basically have to select two keyframes between which there is a lot list, which in this case between those two frames. So if you get this error message, just bring keyframe B closer to keyframe A until you're able to solve the camera motion. But in this case, we have 8 trackers from the beginning to the end, so we should be able to use frame 327 and frame 1. Once this is set up, just click on Solve Camera Motion, and Blender will try to estimate the movement of our camera in 3D space. And you can actually see the average error of the calculations up here, which in this case is 0.61 pixels, which is good enough for our case. Usually I'm happy with everything below 1 pixel, which we have in this case. So now in order to bring this extracted camera movement to our camera in the 3D viewport, you just need to click on Setup Tracking Scene. So when we click this button, Blender does a few things. So first of all, it brings in a few objects, and when we play the timeline, you can see that the camera is now actually moving. And additionally, it also creates two collections, a foreground collection and a background collection. It creates two view layers, one for the foreground and the background. And in the compositor, it creates this node setup that we are going to use later on. But for now, let's press numpad 0 to get into the camera view. And you can see that we also have our footage as the background in the camera. And if I play this timeline, you can set up that we are going to use later on, two actually moving. And additionally, it also creates two collections, a foreground collection and a background collection. It creates two view layers, one for the foreground and the background. And in the compositor, it creates this node setup that we are going to use later on. But for now, let's press numpad 0 to get into the camera view. And you can see that we also have our footage as the background in the camera. And if I play this timeline, you can see that those objects don't stick to the ground in the camera. But for now, let's press numpad 0 to get into the camera view. And you can see that we also have our footage as the background in the camera. And if I play this timeline, you can see that those objects don't stick to the ground of our footage.
ক্যামেরা তো
at all. They are just floating around. But this doesn't mean that our camera track didn't work. It just means that the objects aren't correctly aligned with our camera. And to demonstrate this, let me just go to overlay settings and enable the motion tracking. And now you can see all those points, and they are basically just 3D representations of the points that we had in here. So now you can see that those points aren't aligning with our objects at all, which is the reason why we got why those objects were just floating around. Those points but this doesn't mean that our camera track didn't work. It just means that the objects aren't correctly aligned with our camera. And to demonstrate this, let me just go to the overlay settings and enable the motion tracking. And now you can see all those points, and they are basically
হ্যালো, তোমার মাইক বন্ধ।
হ্যালো হ্যালো আছে আছে
just 3D representations of the points that we had in here. So now you can see that those points aren't aligning with our objects at all, which is the reason why we got why those objects were just floating around. So I think those points are way too small, so let's just press S to scale it up even more. However, now the camera looks too big, so in the viewport display settings,
কোন মোশন ট্র্যাক করছো? ভিডিও ডাউনলোড করেছো?
একটা বানালাম
and the points are still not aligning.
না না, মানে মোশন ট্র্যাক করে তার জন্য তো একটা ভিডিও লাগবে তোমাকে, তো মানে
একটা ভিডিও বানিয়ে আমি ট্র্যাক করছি ওটাকে।
বানাবে কি করে? টি ট্র্যাক করছো?
ক্যামেরা দিয়ে বানালাম, ক্যামেরা দিয়ে বানালাম, বানিয়ে
ও রাস্তায় কি বানিয়েছিলে? সেটা তো এইটা হচ্ছে খাটনি। আস্তে আস্তে তুমি 3D আস্তে আস্তে মধ্যে ঢুকছো। এই হচ্ছে খাটনিগুলো দেখলাম, ভালো লাগলো আমার।
আচ্ছা
হ্যাঁ, বাড়িতে বসে ল্যাদ খাচ্ছে সারাদিন বসে বসে, বিরক্ত লাগছে। দিয়ে বলে 3D আর্টিস্ট আমি। হ্যাঁ, আমি এরকম কত এরকম বাইরে ঘুরে বেড়াতাম এক সময়, গাছের পাতার ছবি তুলছি, ভিডিও করছি। যেটা দেখলাম এটা ভালো লাগলো। ভিডিওতে একদম দাঁত কিলিয়ে দাঁত খুলে পড়ে যাবে একদম, হাসি আর ধরে না। আচ্ছা, ম্যাভিয়াককে তুই সাবস্ক্রাইব করায়নি আমারই বাবা?
থ্যাংক ইউ ফর সাবস্ক্রাইবিং।
হ্যাঁ হ্যাঁ, কোনো ব্যাপার না।
করো নাকি?
না, করে দিয়েছি
করো, তারপর
করে দিয়েছি।
দেখাচ্ছে না, মানে আগে কোনো করেছিল নাকি?
হতে পারে, তাহলে কোনোখানে ভুল করে হয়তো আনসাবস্ক্রাইব হয়ে গেছিল, তো আবার কোনোখানে সাবস্ক্রাইব কিছু একটা হয়েছিল এই সময়। অনেকগুলো অ্যাকাউন্ট থেকে আসি, তখন কোনটা দিয়ে কি হয়েছিল মনে পড়ছে না। তিনজন দেখছে, আরেকজনও দেখছে, পালিয়ে গেল। ক্যামেরাটা অর্ডার দিলাম, বুঝলে? ক্যামেরাটা দাম বেড়ে গেছে, 17,000 না কত দেখেছিলাম, এখন সেটা 20,000 না 21,000 সামথিং হয়ে গেল দেখলাম। না মানে দামটা একটু বেড়ে গেল আর কি, আমার আগে কিনলে ভালো হতো। ক্যামেরা সেট করতে গিয়ে দেখছি না তোমার এই গোপ্রোটাও ভালো, মানে ভালো আউটপুট দিচ্ছে। তুমি গোপ্রোটা তো এ করতে পারো, আনতে পারো।
হ্যাঁ, আমি দাদার কাছে যাওয়া হচ্ছে না, বলা ফোন করবো দেখে আছে।
তারপর তোমার এই লাগবে ওই ক্যাম লিঙ্ক না কি একটা বলছিল, ওই মালটা লাগবে যেটা তোমার ওই কানেক্ট হয় আর কি গোপ্রো গুলো।
সে কম্পিউটার দিয়ে করে দেবো। গোপ্রোটা ভালো হবে না?
হ্যাঁ গোপ্রোটা দেখলাম আমি, যেটা মানে দেখছিলাম কয়েকটা ভিডিও কি করে সেট আপ করতে হয় করতে, ওখানে গোপ্রো দেখলাম আর মানে ইমেজ কোয়ালিটি এটার থেকেও ভালো।
না
হ্যাঁ
So now you can see that those points aren't aligning with our objects at all, which is the reason why we got why those objects were just floating around. So I think those points are way too small, so let's just press S to scale it up.
আমি ভেবেছিলাম গোপ্রোটা বোধ এই হবে ওই মানে কি বলে না
Even more.
মানে ওয়াইড অ্যাঙ্গেল
Now
লেন্স
the
হবে, ওর জন্য
camera
বাজে লাগবে
is
দেখতে।
too big, so
তারপর
the
দেখলাম না,
viewport display settings of the camera just
তারপর
bring down the
দেখলাম না
size of the
ভালোই
camera.
লাগছে।
To improve this. And the points are still not aligning with our objects, but we can quickly fix this in the motion tracking workspace by shift clicking and selecting 3 points that are on the ground. So in this case, I'm going to select those 3, and in the orientation menu, just click on floor. So Blender will align those 3 trackers with.
এই এর কথা দেখলাম ক্যামেরাটা সেটিং মানে সফটওয়্যারটা খুব ভালো, মানে পুরো চেঞ্জ করা যাচ্ছে।
ওটার জন্যই আমি এত চিল্লামিল্লি করছিলাম, আর কোনো কিছু না। তারপর যখন দেখতে পেলাম হ্যাঁ দেখা যাচ্ছে,
মানে লজিটেকের থেকে দেখলাম এটা মানে এটা সফটওয়্যারটা অনেক ভালো।
লজিটেক একটা, আমি তো লাস্ট লজিটেক দেখেছি, এটা তো দেখিনি, তাই আমি এটা বলতে পারছি না। আমি
না এটা দেখলাম কন্ট্রোলস গুলো অনেক বেশি।
So now you can see that they are right here. And
তোমার তো লজিটেক তো?
না না,
আচ্ছা আমি জানতাম বোধহয় তোমার লজিটেকের যেটা সেই 2000 টাকা না আছে 3000 টাকা ওইটা বোধহয়।
না ওটা হলে তো ভালোই হতো, তাহলে আর আমি এত ইসে করতাম না। এটা ভালো, এটা ভালো না তা না, বাট এটা কম দামের মধ্যে ভালো করা যেতে পারে।
আচ্ছা আচ্ছা আচ্ছা
when we go into the camera view and play the
তুমি
timeline.
একটা জিনিস মিস করছো। এফস্পাই ইউজ করেছো?
স্পাই ওটা কি?
এফস্পাই সফটওয়্যারটা ইউজ করেছো কি?
না
ওটার জন্যই হচ্ছে না, এটা তুমি সেট আপ করতে পারবে না কখনো এইভাবে। এফস্পাই বলে একটা সফটওয়্যার, তোমাকে আমি কি টিউটোরিয়ালের লিংক পাঠাবো যেখানে সব ভালো করে টিউটোরিয়াল দেখিয়েছে? পাঠাচ্ছি দাঁড়াও। দাঁড়াও ডিসকর্ডে পাঠাচ্ছি। এটা খুব মানে তাড়াতাড়ি ভিডিওটা, মানে খুব ছোট ভিডিও এবং খুবই মানে পাওয়ারফুল ভিডিও। যা লাগবে তোমার মোটামুটি স্টার্ট মোশন ট্র্যাকিং শেখার জন্য এই ভিডিওটা যথেষ্ট। পাঠিয়েছি দেখো, ডিসকর্ডে পাঠালাম।
একটু দাও।
The objects are actually sticking to the ground. So this is working, however, I don't really like this orientation, so I'm just going to change the pivot point to the 3D cursor, and with the camera selected, press R and Z to align those red X-axis and green Y-axis with our ground. These objects are X to delete it, and instead I'm going to bring in Shift-A Mesh Monkey Head, since those objects are aligning.
So this Blender tutorial is a bit special because I've been told personally from my mom that I talk too loud, and when I get excited, I also talk too loud. So we gotta keep it calm with this tutorial. We wouldn't want to get happy or excited. I think it's one of those muscles that you got flex. It's a use it or lose it. We need to keep doing tracking tutorials every once in a while just to freshen up our skills, and so that I can actually do shots. So I'm gonna do this as kind of like a first get a track here. Put down a bunch of 2D trackers. Now we could use automated video, but I think what might work better is some manual.
25 মিনিটের ভিডিও কত 2 ঘন্টা ভিডিও
Which is just going to get rid of any lighting variation changes. It's not going to care about that. And this should have it.
part হয়ে গেছে
Now, what I'm seeing is I don't know if it's bird proof.
আরে অনেক কিছু শেখার আছে একটু দেখে না তোমাকে বলি শোনো এটা তো অনেক ভালো অনেক কিছু শিখে এসেছি ভালো
New we added trackers. It's not going to go back and retroactively destroy these ones.
তুমি এটা একটু দেখে না
I'm going to call this overly long tracking.
প্রপারলি জিনিসটা কি করে করতে হয় জিনিসটা তোমার বুঝতে হবে জিনিসটা মানে সফটওয়্যারটা শিখলে তো হবে না তখন প্রপারলি জিনিসটা কি করে করতে সেটা শিখতে হবে না
all of our little dots on the paper. Now let's object is in 3D space. So let's go to the solve tab. We're going to set it does is basically up here. You go look throughout your trackers. We're actually ready to. Plane should actually be like whatever 3 points. So if we want to view that better, let's just select 2 of these points and set the scale like is off. This plane should actually be on our table, but if we scrub out, you can see that it's not. So a way we're going to change that is to come to the first frame again. Then we're going to go to this orientation tab over here. We're going to select 3 points. You can just select whatever 3 points are on your 4. So since we made this just a paper, all of those planes are going to be on our 4. So I'm just going to select a random 3 and hit 4 like that. You will notice that it's kind of gone a lot of crazy. So
oh, okay. So basically, I'm going to do oh, well, x-axis, y-axis. So এটাকে এবার ঠিক আছে বেসিক্যালি x axis y axis টা কিরকম ভাবে সিলেক্ট করতে ওইটা হচ্ছে
if we want to view that better, let's just select 2 of these points and set these scale.
ফ্লোর ওয়ালে কনসেপ্ট ফ্লোরই তো ওয়ালই তো নেই তোমার ভিডিওটায়
Really make sure to see if all of them stay on the exact point. You can actually just click on one and kind of scrub throughout the clip and look over here to make sure that they do stay in that one location. So now we're actually ready to set up our tracking scene. I'm just going to go in the solve panel, scroll down, and then set up tracking scene like that. You can see up here it's kind of made a little plane and cube, so that is looking good. But you will notice that our orientation is off. This plane should actually be on our table, but if we scrub out, you can see that it's not. So a way we're going to change that is to come to the first frame again. Then we're going to go to this orientation tab over here. We're going to select 3 points. You can just select whatever 3 points are on your 4. So since we made this just a paper, all of those planes are going to be on our 4. So I'm just going to select a random 3 and hit 4 like that. You will notice that it's kind of gone a lot of crazy. So if we want to view that better, let's just select 2 of these points and set the scale like that. So now the plane is actually on our
তোমাকে আমি বলবো কোনটা সিলেক্ট করতে হবে
আমার ইমাজিনেশনটা করে নি
আচ্ছা 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 আচ্ছা
আমার আবার ইমাজিনেশন না করতে এটা প্রেসার একটা আমরা যাবে না থাকবে এটা 3.5 স্কেল আচ্ছা ও ক্যামেরা যে লেন্সটার ফোকাল লেন্সটা দিয়েছিলাম এখান দিয়ে বুঝলো তো ওটা হচ্ছে 3.5 এ দিয়েছিলাম তো
তোমার কি ক্যামেরা 3.5
না মানে ওই কি বলে একটা জানো বললো এই যে ফোকাল লেন্স এটা 3.5 mm
এস 3.5 mm টা তুমি কোথা থেকে পেলে তোমার ফোকাল লেন্স
এটা একটু দেখো তো আচ্ছা
হ্যাঁ তুমি ফোকাল লেন্সে তুমি কোথা থেকে ভ্যালুটা পেলে এটা কি
আমি জানি না ফোকাল লেন্স
মানে তুমি এটা কিসের ওয়েবসাইট এটা খায় না মাথা দেয় কিসের ওয়েবসাইট এটা
এখান থেকে দেখো দেখতে পারো এখান থেকে দেখাচ্ছিল 2.6 mm
আরে এটা কিসের ওয়েবসাইট
আমি জানি না কিসের ওয়েবসাইট আমি গুগল
আরে ওইভাবে সার্চ করলে হবে না আরে বাবা ওইভাবে সার্চ করলে হয় না এফস্পাই বলে একটা অ্যাপ আছে, একটা অ্যাপটাকে ডাউনলোড করো আগে।
আচ্ছা
ওইভাবে ওই জন্যই সব ঝাঁট চালাচ্ছে, আমাকে বল প্রসেসটা প্রপারলি দেখতে হবে।
ওকে কি বলে নামটা বলো একবার।
এফস্পাই, এফ ফর ফাক, যেটা তুমি ম্যাক্সিমাম করতে চাও কিন্তু করতে পারো না, তারপরে এসপিওয়াই।
ওকে দ্যাট সাউন্ডস গুড।
হ্যাঁ ফর ব্লেন্ডারটা ঠিক আছে, ওখানে পেয়ে যাবে। এফস্পাইতে যাও। হ্যাঁ এই যে এফস্পাইতে কি করে, একটা তুমি ছবি কিংবা একটা যদি তোমার ভিডিও করো, ও সেটা করবে কি ম্যাক উইন, হ্যাঁ ডাউনলোড করো 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 ডাউনলোড করো। ও সেটা করবে কি, মালটাকে কত ফোকাল লেন্থ, মালটার কত মানে লেন্সের কি ডায়ামিটার কত, সবকিছু তোমাকে পুরো ক্যামেরা ডিটেলসটাও তোমাকে সে এর থেকে বার করে দিয়ে দেবে। এবার দেখো উইন্ডোজের যেটা উইনজিপ এফস্পাই, এটা উপরেরটা একদম।
এআই আছে, এআইটা না?
হ্যাঁ হ্যাঁ এআই, ওইটাই তো, ওই তো এআই কোথায়, আইএ,
এআই
হ্যাঁ এআই নট আইএ। এফস্পাই ওইটা ডাউনলোড করো। বাবা ডাউনলোড ম্যানেজার রেখেছে, ইন্টারনেট ডাউনলোড ম্যানেজার, মানে কোন মানধাত্তা আমলে একটা বুড়ো লোক কাজ করতে বলেছে কম্পিউটার খুলে।
আরে আছে, এটাও আছে, এটাও আছে
ইস
কিন্তু
ইস ইস ইস, আরো ডাউনলোড ম্যানেজার, 2-3টে ডাউনলোড ম্যানেজার, মানে একটা মানে বুড়ো না বৃদ্ধ।
আচ্ছা
ইস
না, সবসময় কাজে লাগে, যেমন ইউটিউব ভিডিও ডাউনলোড করতে বা
ইস
এইটা লাগে হচ্ছে।
ইস ছি
ছি বললে তো
একটু এখানে তো বলতে পারবে না, লাইভে তো বলতে পারবে না।
সুযোগের সদ্ব্যবহার, তারা আমিও দেব সুযোগের সদ্ব্যবহার। ওকে
তাও ভালো, এখানে উইনজিপটা আবার ইনস্টল করনি, এটা যে নর্মাল করছে এটাই ভালো। আবার এখানে
উইনজিপ রাখি না, উইন্ডার।
ইস ইস ছ্যা, আরে ওখানে 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 খোলো খোলো খোলো। হ্যাঁ এসপাইটাকে ডাইরেক্ট ডাউনলোড করে নাও ওখান থেকে, ইনস্টল। ইনস্টল এটা হ্যাঁ, এফআই সার্চ করো ওখানে। হয়েছে হয়েছে, আচ্ছা হয়নি। আচ্ছা তুমি ব্লেন্ডারে তুমি তো অ্যাড অন ডাউনলোড করো, তুমি তো এসআই সফটওয়্যার ডাউনলোড করো, তুমি এটাকে অ্যাড অন ইনস্টল করার চেষ্টা করছো কেন, আমি বুঝতে পারছি না। সফটওয়্যার ডাউনলোড করে তুমি অ্যাড অন লাগাচ্ছ, আমি বুঝতে পারছি না। সফটওয়্যারটাকে ইনস্টল করো।
তুমি কে বলেছিল তুমি ইনস্টল করতে?
ওটা তো করতে হবে, আজব ব্যাপার। এফস্পাই অ্যাড অন আলাদা, এফস্পাই ওয়ে আলাদা।
এটা কি করতে হবে
মানে লোড এক্সাম্পল প্রজেক্ট তোমার ভিডিওটাতে লোড করো, এটা না। এবার ফাইলে যাও, ফাইলে যাও, ফাইল মানে জানো কোথায়? হ্যাঁ নিউ, ওপেন, ওপেন করবে তুমি ফাইল। তুমি একটা সফটওয়্যার সেভ করে ওপেন কেন করছো? নিউ নিউ এস5 ফাইল তুমি সেভ করো, নিউ নিউ। হ্যাঁ এবার ফাইলে যাও, ফাইলে যাও, দিয়ে দেখো এখানে। আরে দাঁড়াও না বাবা, একটু দেখো এখানে, দেখো এক্সাম্পল কিছু একটা থাকবে, ইম্পোর্ট না কিছু একটা থাকবে। ওপেন এক্সাম্পল, ওপেন ইমেজ, ওপেন ইমেজটাই করো, ওপেন ইমেজ, ওপেন ইমেজ। হ্যাঁ, দিয়ে তোমার যে ভিডিওটা, ওটা কি একটা ইমেজ আছে কোনো?
না, ভিডিও আছে।
ভিডিও আছে, ভিডিওতে স্ক্রিনশট নাও, দিয়ে একটা ইমেজ বানাও ওটাকে। ভিডিও কখন লোড হয় বলছি? ইমেজ বার করে তুমি ভিডিও লোড করছো। হ্যাঁ, এবার এটা স্ক্রিনশট না, এবার এটা, হ্যাঁ এবার এটা স্ক্রিনশট না, এটা একটা, এটা যে কোনো প্রপার জায়গা থেকে যেখানে মোটামুটি প্রপার জিনিসটা তুমি পাচ্ছ, এটা স্ক্রিনশট নাও। এবার এটা স্ক্রিনশট নাও। হ্যাঁ, এবার হচ্ছে এই স্ক্রিনশটটাকে এবার এখানটাকে সেভ করো।
জেপিজি না পিএনজি?
যেটা ইচ্ছে, জেপিজি করো, জেপিজি করো, জেপিজি সাপোর্টেড সবসময় থাকে। বাবা, ডাইস ওপেন ইমেজ। এবার ওই মানটাকে লোড করতে হবে। এবার খোঁজো, ডাইস খোঁজো এবার। হ্যাঁ, এই এবার লোড হয়ে গেছে। এবার ফুল স্ক্রিন করো মালটাকে। এবার এই যে এক্স ওয়াইটাকে প্লেনটা আছে এখানে, এবার এটাকে সেট আপ করতে হবে। কি করে সেট আপ করতে হয় সেটা ইউটিউবে দেখে নাও। এটা আমি তোমার বলে করতে গেলে চাপ হয়ে যাবে। নিজের মতো কখনো মেরো না, একটু ইউটিউবটা খুলে একটু ল্যাপটাকে মানে পদের ল্যাপটাকে বার করো, দিয়ে একটু কাজটা করো। আরে হচ্ছে না ওইভাবে করে না, একটু দেখে নাও, বলিস না। আমি তোমার বলতে পারবো, কিন্তু অনেক সময় লেগে যাবে তোমার।
এ তো তাহলে আজকে আর কমপ্লিট হবে না। আমি আর কোন রকম এটা আমি করে নিই।
আরে কোন রকমে, এটা খুব ইজি সফটওয়্যার,
আমি এটা করে নিই কোন রকমে।
আপনি এটা 1 মিনিটে শেখার জিনিস, জাস্ট তোমাকে বলে দেবে কি করে জিনিসটা করতে হয়। জাস্ট কয়েকটা মানে এগুলোকে মার্চ করা তো খুব ইজি সফটওয়্যার, 5 মিনিটে হয়ে যাবে তোমার। তুমি যদি সার্চটা করো, একটা সার্চ করো, এত ল্যাথ খাওয়াটা একটু বন্ধ করো। প্রথমে তো হচ্ছে এইটা। আরে বাবা, তুমি আগে ইউটিউবটা খোলো, এখানে গিয়ে সার্চ মারো এফস্পাই, ব্লেন্ডার না, এফস্পাই সফটওয়্যারটা খোলো। দাঁড়াও, এফস্পাই দাঁড়া, এই দেখো নিচে আছে, এইটা ওই আরে বাবা ল্যাথ করে, এই তো ব্লেন্ডার
এটা
হ্যাঁ একটা যেকোনো করো, তুমি খোলো, ওটাই খোলো, যেকোনোটা করো।
In this example, I'm using aerial photo opacity. Import the file in Blender and set the location and rotation keyframe for the camera in case you accidentally move it. If you want, you can adjust the opacity.
এই যে বলে দিচ্ছি তোমাকে, দেখো।
In wireframe mode, move the cube's faces to match the building. Duplicate the cube with Shift E and then press Shift Z so you can move it around only the X and Y axes. Once you've got a cube for every building,
একটু নরমাল ভিডিওটা স্পিডে দেখো।
apply everything and then
এফস্পাই শুধু ব্লেন্ডার কেন এমনি সার্চ করো না, এফস্পাই নরমাল সার্চ করো, এটা ব্লেন্ডারের অ্যাড অন, এটা এফস্পাই নরমালটা সার্চ করবে, এটা খুব অসুবিধা হবে। এফস্পাই নরমালটা সার্চ, আমি তোমার লিংক পাচ্ছি, দাঁড়াও, এটা সার্চ করতে পারি না ইউটিউবে, দাঁড়াও।
আরে বাবা, এটা 1 মিনিটের ভিডিও না, এটা মিনিমাম 10-12 মিনিটের ভিডিও।
দাঁড়াও।
Hey, this is Kinoshnik. In this video, I will the links in the description below. Just drop any image. I used a photo of my hallway which I made on my old iPhone SE. Now you need to position your action-wise. You can turn off the image to see it better and change 3D guide to box so it'd be easier to orient yourself in space.
তোমার ভিডিও পাঠাচ্ছি আমি, দাঁড়াও।
When it's done, you can save it. Then you need to download the free ASPI add-on for Blender and install it. Frame, edit so it fits the real object in the photo.
এই নাও লিংক পাঠাচ্ছি, এটা দেখে নাও, এফস্পাইটা কি করে সেটআপ করতে পেয়ে যাবে। মানে একটা ইউটিউবে সার্চ করতে গেলে বলে আমি ইউটিউব সার্চ করতে পারি না, কি বাবা, আমি তো ল্যাথ খোর।
To FSpy importer for Maya. FSpy is a standalone camera matching application, and you can use it to camera match your camera in 3D. I built this plugin to import an FSpy project into Maya, and here you can see it's installed and ready to load. Let's get started, but first,
suppose you marry a widow who already has a grown-up daughter, and your father marries the widow's grown-up daughter. Now the widow's daughter becomes your mother. Since your mother's mother is your wife is also your grandmother. As the husband of your grandmother, you become your own grandpa.
Wait, that's illegal. Okay, let's get started. Open the fspy-importer.zip file, take those files, and drop them into your Maya/plugins folder, like I've done here so. And here I'm going to check load and auto-load. The importer allows you to import the background image, and also allows you to import using the file browser. Okay,
এটা
next
skip করো, এটা মাঝে
Let's
skip করে দাও। হ্যাঁ হ্যাঁ,
we can also grab the axis.
এইটা রাখো।
But what I want to do is the focal length and the axes line of fspy, and I can drag an image. So here I'm going to use this first image. It's just a 16:9 still image. I get the axis alignment tools. Here I can dim the image, or in this case I don't want it to. And what we'll mainly take a look at here is the vanishing point axes, and then we'll take a look at some of the parameters here on the side, as well as the focal length. You want to always
এটা slow করে দাও, এটা slow করে
image
রাখো।
sensor proportions. In this case, we have a mismatch, which is what we're going to pay attention to when exporting and importing. So let's quickly drag these points. We can hold shift for better alignment. In this case, I'll just define the X, and then let's do a Y. Great. We can also grab the axis. But what I want to do is an XZ plane. And here I can define the axis a little differently and say, okay, there's also some distortion in the image, but we're not going to deal with that. Now I can do File, Save. I'm just going to save it here on my desktop.
Sensor 36 into 26.
I'm going to call this fspy1.
সেটাই বললাম।
Okay, now if we go here to the focal length and check, we can see here that our image sensor proportions are mismatched. That's because our image width up here is 1920 by 1080. I purposely showed this example because we're going to have to make a custom camera. Now I know the dimensions of my sensor camera, and so I put them in here. Okay, now the message has disappeared. I can go to File and Save. So now let's import our project.
Yes, sir. Let's see.
দেওয়ালটাকে বেস করো, যে ওই যে যেটা ইটের দেওয়ালটাকে বেস করো। ভালো করে করো, আজে বাজে করে করলে কিন্তু প্রপার ভুলভাল আসবে ভ্যালুটা। তুমি দেখতে পাচ্ছ না কোনটা সোজা কোনটা ব্যাকা লাইন? ওপরটা ব্যাকা লাইন, সেটা বুঝতে পারছো?
Is that okay?
না, এখনো ওকে হয়নি। দেখো ওই পেছনের যেটা ব্যাকা নাই, পেছনের যেটা বাঁ দিকের দেখো ওটা ভার্টিক্যাল হয়নি। জেডটা তো ভার্টিক্যাল হবে পুরো। আরে ওটা পরে করবে, জেডটাকে ওইদিকে, জেডটা দেখো 2 নম্বর, হ্যাঁ এটা দেখো ভার্টিক্যাল হয়নি পুরো, ওই দিকেরটা। হ্যাঁ আরে বাবা, সোজা লাইন ব্যাকা লাইন জানে না লেফটটা। হ্যাঁ ঠিক আছে, এবার এটা যত অ্যাকুরেট করে পারফেক্ট করে করবে জিনিসটা, আবার বেঁকিয়ে দিল।
হ্যাঁ এটা কি 48 দেখাচ্ছে, বাট এটা কেন না? তো
এটাই তোমার যে ভিডিওটা উঠেছে তার এটাই,
তাহলে এটা হচ্ছে 48 mm।
হ্যাঁ ক্যানন 16 কাস্টম ক্যামেরা করো, ঠিক আছে। এবার এটাকে 40 mm করো, ঠিক আছে। এবার এটাকে 48 mm করো, দেখো বুঝতে পারবে। ক্যামেরাতে যাও, 48 mm করো। হ্যাঁ এইবার এটা তোমার এবার দেখো, এবার তোমার জিনিসটা প্রপার আসবে। বলো কিছুটা সলভ, সেটাই।
বেসিক্যালি আমি লেআউটে গিয়ে কিছু খুঁজলাম।
এবার তোমার করো এক্সপাই সবসময় ইউজ করো। ব্লেন্ডারের অ্যাড-অন আছে এক্সপাই, সেটা তোমাকে শিখতে বলে তুমি তো বললে আমি এখন বাদ দিয়ে যাবো, এখন আমার হবে না সময়, তুমি আপাতত এটাই করো।
আমি পারি না।
আমি 1 মিনিট আসছি।
ওকে
হলো সলভ।
একটু পরে নিয়ে বুঝতে হবে।
শোনো, তোমাকে ফার্স্ট এটা করতে হবে, রাস্তার যেটা আছে রাস্তার একটা মডেল বানাও, একটা সোজা রাস্তা হাত থেকে এরকম সাইডে বেরিয়ে গেছে, তারপর ওইটাকে মেলানোর চেষ্টা করো। এইভাবে বালের মতো একটা প্লেন নিয়ে মেলানোর চেষ্টা করলে হবে না। কথাটা বুঝলে? ও প্লেনটা দিয়েছে কারণ একটা কাগজের কি টেবিলের একটা সিমুলেশন করছে আলাদা। তুমি যখন প্রকৃতির মধ্যে বেরিয়ে প্রকৃতি নিদর্শন করে চলে এসছো, তোমাকে তো অন্যভাবে কাজটা করতে হবে না। তোমার জায়গাটা খুব সুন্দর তো, গাছ ফাছ আছে, ভালো জায়গা।
হ্যাঁ, অনেকের বাড়ির সামনে থাকে না এইসব।
ওরে বাচ্চা, মানে যখন ভাবে হালকা করে বলবে এই প্যান্টটা খোলো তো একটু, দেখি তো একটু। আর বললাম না। তোমার যে ক্যামেরা অ্যাঙ্গেলটা পুরো ভুল, সেটা কি তুমি বুঝতে পারছো? ঠিক আছে, আমি দেখছিলাম এটা কেমন কাজ করছে।
Basically, I'm gonna create this one. Some. Check this later, and now I'm gonna select the particle with the legend object. Select this one. Okay. Hello candidate, Arena or Mac? It is a Blender in Windows. I'm using Windows right now. Wow. You know what? I'm gonna do another step. I'm gonna try another step and I will make it. Okay. Now I'm gonna select like this. just nice. One. Two. Three. Basically all selected. Now what we are gonna do, and it's done. Oh, get back to me. Yeah.
Bring it back, scale up the search area, and just drag backwards. So in order to create the camera solve, just switch to the solve panel over here. And before we can click on solve camera motion, we need to give Blender a bit more information about our camera. So to do so, press N to open up the side panel, and under track, go to camera. And here we have the sensor width value. So in this case, a quick Google search will give you the right information. I'm just going to check refine focal length, and Blender will try to estimate this value, E. And for this, we basically have to select two keyframes between which there is a lot of parallax. This means that the camera has to set the keyframe this value, which usually works pretty well. So that's it for the camera settings. Next, we also need to set the keyframe A and B. And for this, we basically have to select two keyframes between which there is a lot of parallax. This means that the camera has to move a lot between those two frames. And usually I like to use the first and the last frame of my sequence for this, which in this case is 1 and 327. Sometimes this might not work, and you will get this error message that you need at least 8 tracks between those two frames. So if you get this error message, just bring keyframe B closer to keyframe A until you're able to solve the camera motion. But in this case, we have 8 trackers from the beginning to the end, so we should be able to use frame 327 and frame 1. Once this is set up, just click on Solve Camera Motion, and Blender will try to estimate the movement of our camera in 3D space. And you can actually...
Keep it up. Well done. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Let's see what we can do. It's the camera now. We just check this one. It is pretty much, I'm gonna see
basically see the average error of the calculations up here, which in this case is 0.61 pixels, which is good enough for our case. Usually I'm happy with everything below 1 pixel, which we have in this case. So now in order to bring this extracted camera movement to our camera in the 3D viewport, you just need to click on Setup Tracking Scene. So when we click this button, Blender does a few things. So first of all, it brings in a few objects, and when we play the timeline, you can see that the camera is now actually moving. And additionally, it also creates two collections, a foreground collection and a background collection. It creates two view layers, one for the foreground and the background. And in the compositor, it creates this node setup that we are going to use later on as the background in the camera. And if I play this timeline, you can see...
Bro, you are an advanced VFX artist? No, I'm just a beginner. I just learning from YouTube and edit some stuff. But I also created some object. If you want to see that, I can show you. This is the object I created. It's normal object. This is the animation I just created. It is taking long. So all the object is created by me, and this all you can find in YouTube. I have uploaded all the stuff. Just I'm beginner, but I know lots of stuff in Blender. That's why just trying to fix my. You learn. Oh, thank you for that. I never expect that's coming. I have lots of bone material. If you wanna see, show you. Here, shut it here. Wanna see my bone material? My channel. Yes. This is all created by. I just turn off the music. I find the video tracking video. Find it. I think. Oh, that's nice. I just learning tracking video, so this is how I just made this animation. Spider animation. That's all I just made it. Why it is that graphics? Because I know how to make that graphics. It's like a beginner project for me. This is all beginner project. That's all just I created, and you can find in here. All just I learned. Now I'm learning this one to make this video a little bit. Let's see what I can do. So here.
See that those objects don't stick, the objects aren't correctly aligned with our camera round. But this doesn't mean that our camera track didn't work. It just means that the objects aren't correctly aligned with our camera.
Well
and
done.
to demonstrate this, let me just go to overlay settings and enable the motion tracking.
Thank you.
And now you can see all those points.
Thank you.
And they are basically just 3D representations of the points that we had in here. So now you can see that those points aren't aligning with our objects at all, which is the reason why we got why those objects were just floating around. So I think those points are way too small, so let's just press S to scale it up, maybe even more. However, now the camera looks too big, so in the viewport display settings of the camera, just bring down the size of the camera to improve this. And the points are still not aligning with our objects, but we can quickly fix it. However, now that I think it's not aligning with our objects at all, which is the reason why we go.
It is working fine on that. Oh, that's that one easy. Where is the motion tracking? Nice. Look at that. Nice things. Thank you. And love from India to Pakistan. Love you all. It's not like that we are at each other. Because it is the media who is put some bullshit in our mind. So this is what I just done. Look at that. But we need to
কিছু বলছিলাম, এটা এফকে ছিলাম।
we need to align the G axis. না কিছু বলছিলাম না।
ঠিক আছে ঠিক আছে।
Where is the motion? Let's see. The tracking is working fine, and now that is the most
Why those objects were just floating around. So I think those points are way too small, so let's just press S to scale it up. Maybe even more. However, now the camera looks too big, so in the viewport display settings of the camera, just bring down the size of the camera to improve this. And the points are still not aligning with our objects, but we can quickly fix this in the motion tracking workspace by shift clicking and selecting 3 points that are on the ground. So in this case, I'm going to select those 3. And in the orientation menu, just click on floor. So Blender will align those 3 trackers with the ground. So now you can see that they are right here. And when we go into the camera view and play the timeline, the objects are actually sticking to the ground.
Okay. That's all I need. Now I'm gonna select the part just make brown. See, the camera is here. Let's get back here. Select tracking down. He did the floor.
See that they are right here, and when we go into the camera view and align those 3 trackers with the ground, so now you can see.
So basically we need 3 trackers from ground. I can select this one now and to float this one, make it float. Set now, see. the camera, press dot on the keyboard and see how it is far away from the distance. Therefore, that's why he said that you have to use the folder. What does Amy do? See. And what can we do? Track and not 35 little one. No. That's motion. Set. Let's get back here. This is very much that's the flow. We'll make it 1.7 and 6 now. So set flow. One center, six, set camera motion, set flow. If you press Control space bar, it will like you can see the entire screen. Where is navigation? Let's check that other one. Turn on the yes. Top video. Thanks. Thank you. Let's see what I can create. This is the floor I'm just creating right now. The top side. Yeah, I'm creating the base. This model, let's see how I would select this one. This one is perfectly fine. So basically my focal length will be showing 27 and camera will be like it's 27. Copy this one, 27.4, and now go inside the Blender, not 27. Leave it, and now we should set center. See, get here, we get nothing. How we get the camera sensor? Each sensor 1.7. Let's try this one. 7 aspect ratio. Aspect ratio. I'll just let it go. This. Motion, set flow, it's like where is the camera? So it is inside the box. How about select those area? Align with this part. So this is the problem I'm facing. 32 value. I don't know what value I just put. Facing lots of problem. But make 35. Solve problem. Set 4. Go 0. Can't see anything. And this is the problem I'm facing right now. I don't know what to do. And I cannot see my clock. Set clock. So if you make it minus, it will go plus. It will like what the doesn't get it. Why I'm getting problem like that? That is not making any sense.
এই আমি এলাম, চান ফান করে আসছি। হ্যাঁ,
Okay.
তুমি কি স্ট্রিম করবে এখনো?
হ্যাঁ করছি। হ্যালো,
হ্যাঁ বলো।
হ্যাঁ করছি।
আচ্ছা ঠিক আছে।
Another thing we can do, we can make a new video. Go general, save, and we go to the camera. So, and now inside the camera, go picture, open image, then extra image, and your image is here. I can select the box, G, anywhere you wanted to, or you can go like that. Sorry, select the camera again, and your body. Or you can again go view, 3D camera view, log. This is how you can set your camera. Just select the images. It's a movie clip. For those who doesn't know how it is work, you see there is a movie clip. Just go again, select the movie clip. Select the movie clip. It is a movie clip. This is how it look like. It's start. Now you can go to the VFX and tracking. Open image, texture, VFX. I'm tired of this, so I'm gonna again select this one from what we are searching for. Get it all. First, I'm gonna set the keyframe here, make it 30. Keyframe. Done. Add marker. Let's try. Hello. Welcome to my live streaming. Thank you. Thank you for watching. This is the motion tracking I just made it. And I'm gonna delete those which are not needed. This one. Yes. Not working in my frame, so I doesn't need this one. If you see any red marker, just delete those because those you doesn't need. There is. Start mark. This is how you can mark easily. And we done it. We done the marking stuff. Now I should get back. Select those points. Before I track the solve panel problem, there is oh, I forgot. Select all. Tracking. Every time I forgot this one, but I don't know why. I'm gonna watch another video. So what's this one?
Actually, just click on one and kind of scrub throughout the clip and look over here to make sure that they do your mouse fin all frame fin dots on all of our little dots on the paper. Now let's just going to go ahead and add all the others. So again, you just want to hold control and click at all of our dots, trying to be as center as possible. For these little crosses, you do want to be in the center as much as possible. So you can actually come over here and make sure it's in the exact center. Okay, so now I have tracking dots on all of our little dots on the paper. Now let's track throughout our scene. And make sure that they all stay kind of all key markers actually going off. We're going to set it to be keyframe. A and B are basically just keyframes that Blender uses to allow Blender to actually tell where the object is in 3D space. So let's go to the solve tab. We're going to set it to be keyframe.
Oh, okay.
A and B are basically just keyframes that Blender uses to actually make the solve. We want to refine the focal length K1 and K2. All this does. A and B are basically just keyframes that Blender uses to actually make the solve. We want to refine the
K1.
focal length K1 and K2. All this does is basically just kind of tell
About me, how I get that K1, K2. What the heck? Inside. Center. Okay.
Blender to try to find what camera settings we are using. Next, we just want to go ahead and solve the camera mission. So once that is finished solving, we can actually see we got.
Okay, solve the camera position. Let's see what we get or got. And it's taking a little bit time. And it will take a little bit time.
Our solve error up here. Now for mine, I got a 0.21, and that is actually really good. You want to keep it as low as possible. I recommend anything below a 0.3 is very good. So if for any reason you're getting a solve error greater than this, then I highly recommend you go look throughout your trackers, really make sure to see if all of them stay on the exact point. You can actually just click on one and kind of scrub throughout the clip and look over here to make sure that they do stay in that one location. So now we're actually ready to set up our tracking scene. I'm just going to go in the solve panel, scroll down, and then set up tracking scene like that. You can see up here it's kind of made a little plane.
Okay, he set up the tracking center. Okay. So let's see how about our soft camera position is still working. Nice. I don't want to retract that up or go crazy with it. Doesn't need that much. And you can do the tracking stuff, canceling. Here is the problem here. Memory. It doesn't have. Memory, and it doesn't have to money buy the memory. That's all I'm pressing here. Let's see. This one we doesn't need. Let's try to get this.
And keep. So that is looking good, but you will notice that our orient just a solve error greater than this. And I highly recommend you go look throughout your trackers, really make sure to see if all of them stay on the exact point. You can actually just click on one and kind of scrub throughout the clip and look over here to make sure that they do stay in that one location. So now we're actually ready to set up our tracking scene. I'm just going to go in the solve panel, scroll down, and then set up tracking scene like that. You can see up here it's kind of made a little plane and cube. So that is looking good, but you will notice that our orientation is off. This plane should actually be on our table, but if we scrub out, you can see that it's not. So a way we're going to change that is to come to the first frame again. Then we're going to go to this orientation tab over here. We're going to select 3 points. You can just select whatever 3 points are on your floor. So since we made this just a paper, all of those planes are going to be on our floor. So I'm just going to select a random 3 and hit 4 like that. You will notice.
Oh shit. Now let's see if we get that back or not. It doesn't take that much time. I'm gonna create one more time, and believe me, I'm like frustrated as hell. No, I'm not. I don't know. Okay, it is a little bit time. PUBG. Is the track complete? Okay. I didn't see that coming. Let's go to system. Yes. I think I got the problem. Let's make that 1000. Or make that, yeah, 4000. Let's see the RAM. So basically this is forward. I'm gonna okay. So I think I fixed the RAM problem, and this is how you can fix the RAM problem. It is very hard for me because you know, new guy in a hood, and he doesn't know how to hood. Let's get back. Set prefetch. And there you go. That's all done. Now we done this part. Solve, keyframe, focal length. I don't know what does do. I'm gonna do before we do that, we need a tracker. We need to track this path. Let's click this one, this one, this one, this one, this. Okay. This one, this one, this one. How many? We need 18. I'm gonna track this path. I does not want to track more than this because I don't know if it's problem. This problem is so let's make one more time. Get back. Come here. Let's see the another path. So all is done. Now go to the focal length. It doesn't know the camera. Projection error to 0.2. Okay, what is it? Sensor white.
So it's kind of got a lot of crazy. So if we want to view that better, let's just select two of these points and set the scale like that. So now the plane is at and hit 4 like that. You want to notice that it's kind of got a lot of crazy. So if we want to view that better, let's just select two of these points and set the scale like that. So now the okay, is open 1.38.10. I don't know what that's do with me. Here.
we don't know. Keyframe setup. Let's see what we get. Solve error 2.2 px. I don't want to get failed. Set the origin. X-axis. Time. And this is how you feel bad when you are not able to do anything in Blender right now. Okay. make normal video. I don't know what I'm gonna do. I'm getting tired of making this. Let the layout way side the camera. And get something. Let's finally go here. Go to keyboard display. No. Camera. Select the camera. Background images. Full display. 100%. That's all I have to do. That camera. -2, and let's see right now. Okay, let's create an environment. Make that power as a 9. Will be 1. Let's see. Let's see. So it doesn't need that much particle. Let's make that 100. Just like that again. The 100 is fine. And end will be like 6,000. It doesn't need 100, make it 2. Get 50. Okay. -5. let's render. Okay, that's the material. Shift 800 G to y-axis and to the object. So the object of view. Okay. That's my it's rotating and going up. Oh, okay. I thought this is the camera. So basically, I just made something I don't know. So this is how is facing with the focal length, and I will fix that better. Okay, enough. Oh. This is hard to make it. Like I failed making this. I don't know. I'm gonna end this video right now. I'm tired. I'm gonna eat some food and then I'm gonna bring it back and I will do it offline. And let me see what I can do. But I think I'm failed right now. Sorry to interrupt. Like really, I tried my best, but I don't know what I can do. Yes, I will do that later, but I will make it. Okay, so I will make that video again. Thank you for watching. Thank you for supporting. Thank you for whatever you do with me.